Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the KWT experience. We will be live shortly. Today's topic is, well, as the title says, arcade classics, but more specifically, arcade classics and arcade style, arcade era games that have stood the test of time and are still being made. Games are still being made of them today. I'm your host, Todd Kitty, here with my co hosts, Inner City Witty and Dragon's Reigns. Almost called him Travis C. That would have been embarrassing.
Nah.
We were to have a special guest
There
today,
we go.
but he is indisposed, and I'm gonna slap him as soon as I find him. So, yeah, we will. I will slap the special guest for not being awake on time. Without further ado, let's get right into it. We are going to start with Witty talking about Street Fighter.
That reminds me. Thanks for reminding me, actually, too. Sorry. Well, one of the main reasons why I actually picked Street Fighter is because even though people hate the movie that came out for it, I loved the movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I like the Street Fighter movie too. It was pretty.
Why I actually picked
Travis, mute that.
I did. Sorry.
The first iteration of Street Fighter actually came out in 1987 for the arcade version. In the arcade version, they only had one character that you can play, which is kind of weird. And they actually had was it 1991? They had the Super Nintendo for the Street Fighter 2. That's why she actually when they had more. Actually, I think it was a total 8 characters you can choose from.
Yeah, I didn't linger on the character selection screen too much, but Street Fighter 2 had a number of characters you could choose from. I want to say something like 12.
Yeah.
The original one had 8.
Yeah.
And I even just like the movie, I always chose Colonel Guile because, in my opinion, he actually had the best way they actually counter your enemy when they're trying to jump over you. So that was easier to use. They actually had a lot of crossover series like Marvel versus Capcom, SNK versus Capcom, was it Street Fighter versus Tekken, things like that. Those are actually the fun games too. Oh, they actually had, I don't know how many versions of it, but they had a lot of anime series too as well. I didn't watch much of those as well. I mean, from that, but other than that, it's been going around from 1987 all the way to. I know I had it somewhere. 2016, but so far they have not made any other iterations of the game that I know of. But I could be wrong, but they could have one still in the works right now.
I just have to point out that in that video clip, the reason Chun-Li was spazzing out is because I was trying to figure out how to do combos on the controller for the emulator, and it wasn't working, so she was just spazzing out.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget that they have movies as well.
Yeah, they only had one Street Fighter movie. That was Jean-Claude Van Damme. All the other ones were anime.
Yeah. Which I thought it was pretty good. I actually liked the movie.
I forgot who they all started with, but they still had. Oh, that reminds me. One of the oddest characters in Street Fighter 2 that I remember is Vega. You remember Vega?
Yeah.
The cage fighter?
Yep.
He was the only character in the game that allowed you to actually interact with the background of the stage you're in.
That is true.
Because he can climb in the cage.
Yeah, that is true.
He was the only character that can do that in Street Fighter 2. which I actually really thought was interesting for that, but it kind of made it really annoying trying to beat him. And has anyone ever? I mean, has anyone remembered the first iteration of Marvel versus Capcom?
No, I did
Marvel.
I did see it as I was looking up the Street Fighter though. I did see that it's old.
It's still pretty fun too. I think they had. I think they actually had Dang, what's his name? Thanos in there. I believe.
They had Thanos in it. Wow.
Let's see, crossover. It's the X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel superheroes, Marvel's at Capcom 2, 3. Ultimate Marvel, yeah. Yeah, they did have Thanos.
Wow.
Yeah,
But other than that,
I get my butt royally kicked in this, you guys. I'm bad at this game.
but other than that, so far in my opinion, with all the actual arcade fighting games, Street Fighter is still the longest running one that I know of.
There's so many copies of it, though.
The best by far is Mortal Kombat.
Yes, there is. I think Mortal Kombat is the best. But if you look at like Street Fighter, like what's on the screen, if you notice that there's so many kinds of copycats out there, other than like Mortal Kombat, I would give Mortal Kombat all on its own. But if you look at Street Fighter itself, to me, I feel that there has to be a lot of copycats kind of game that is just like Street Fighter.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a dinosaur fighting game.
That's another one I should have done.
there is a lot of copycats of Street Fighter games that whether they copied the exact formula or they just copied the premise of it and just weren't as successful. Out of all of them, though, as I said, Mortal Kombat is by far the best mimicry and one of the best fighting games of all time.
I will agree with that. Definitely agree with that.
That's weird.
Anything else to say about this game, Witty?
Not at the moment, but I just noticed that I saw some chat on the screen, on the
Yeah,
video screen, but not in the chat room.
yeah, because I was streaming that. That was
Oh.
from my stream.
Yeah, that's what threw me off a little bit.
All right, next
But other than that, no.
we have Travis talking, our Dragon's Reigns, our resident Travis, talking about the Donkey Kang.
Kang.
The Donkey Kong. Well, it's Donkey Kong. Well,
The
all right,
Donkey
you
Kang.
guys. Me myself, I've always been in the thing of Donkey Kong. I love Donkey Kong. It's a trip. There's so many things to Donkey Kong, and so many different games now. Um,
The footage on screen is of Donkey Kong Country
Super Nintendo.
yes,
for
Oh.
the Super Nintendo.
64.
yeah. So Donkey Kong is an arcade game released by Nintendo in Japan on July 9th, 1981. Shortly after, in North America, in July 31st, 1981. And also in Europe as well. It came in Europe. It's an early example of the platform game genre The gameplay focuses on. Now, this word kept getting me. I hate to say it. Maneuvering. Maneuvering the main character across a series of platforms in order to ascend a construction site, all while dodging and jumping over obstacles in its path. In the game, Mario, originally named Mr. Video and then Jumpman, most. Oh, I skipped the place. Must rescue a damsel in distress, and her name is actually Pauline. The woman's name was Pauline. It was. I never thought of that, but in the girl that was in distress is also her originally name was Lady. They would always call her Lady. I don't know why, but her real name was Pauline. From the so he has to rescue her against the giant ape Donkey Kong. The hero and ape would later become two of Nintendo's most popular and recognizable characters. Donkey Kong is one of the most important games from the golden age of arcade video games, as well as one of the most popular arcade games of all time. The Nintendo series was an effort to break into the North American market. What?
Tiny Ninja. Coming in with my real name is Pauline Lady the Fourth.
Oh, I get you, Tiny. Okay.
That's why I was laughing.
Hiroshi Yakamori. Yeah. Nintendo's Prez
No spaces.
at the time, and Gumpy Yokiri, chief engineer, and gosh, these Chinese names or Japanese names are bad. Shingru Miyamoto. Miyamoto. Game designer, drawing from a wide range of inspiration, including Popeye, Beauty and the Beast, and King Kong. So what it was is that it was like more of a. These three guys got together and they just took all kinds of inspirations off of the three of the most popular things at that time. Like I said, it's Popeye, Beauty and the Beast, and King Kong. Hiroshi assigned the two men to break new ground by using graphics as a means of characterization. The including cutscenes to advance the game's plot, and integrating multiple stages into the gameplay. Although Nintendo American staff was very appreciative, Donkey Kong succeeded commercially and critically, I guess is how it says, in North America and Japan. Nintendo's licensed the game to Coleco that made the console version for numerous platforms. Other companies cloned the game and avoided royalties altogether. It became big appearing on cereal boxes, TV, and cartoons, but there became a lawsuit by Universal that they said that it was like King Kong, but they lost the lawsuit, which helped Donkey Kong explode in 1981. So, like I said, Donkey Kong is known everywhere. It's like it said also that it came on TV. It had cereal boxes. They had merchandise, all kinds of things for Donkey Kong, which was pretty cool because back then games really were more like an arcade kind of type thing. You would go out with your friends, go to an arcade place, and play arcade games. And as they say, Donkey Kong was of the most one of the most played games
Whoa.
inside of an arcade game.
Pardon me there. I had to sneeze. I think I got my mic muted in time.
Yeah, I
You
did
did.
hear it.
All right, cool.
So, what do you guys think about Donkey Kong?
I I love playing Donkey Kong, especially Donkey Kong Country and such. They're goofy games and the characters are full of personality, which make them a very interesting play to me.
Remember, he was also in the that movie Pixels as well. As actually one of the villains.
Yep. Yeah, because they had what was it? Adam Sandler and what is his name? Kevin
The fat guy.
something. Yeah.
They also had
And-
that one. They had that one actor from the like Game of Thrones too.
Yeah, yeah. So they had to they had to fight Donkey Kong, didn't they? They had
Yep.
to go up all the stuff just to get the girl and the little boy.
I'm the Donkey
Yep.
Kong
I
champion
remember
of the
that.
world.
Anything else, you guys?
Not really.
I'd like to try and play through them all eventually on stream. That'd be a lot of fun.
That would be cool. But you'd have to start at the very first one.
Yeah, I would. I'd absolutely have to start with the original Donkey Kong.
I think that would be pretty awesome to do. Because, I mean, a lot, if you think about it, a lot of the games that we're talking about today,
And Kevin's the fat guy. is my favorite. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember his name. I know him as the lovable fat guy.
yeah, Adam Sandler and Kevin the Fat Guy is my favorite duo. But you gotta think, the games that we're talking about today, most people our age groups, we know of these things, but how often do people ever really go back and play them?
I know, like, except for Pokemon, I had to dig like into the bottom of the barrel to play these games. You know.
It's hard to even find them. They're classics.
Yeah.
These are classic games. And you don't really see anybody like on streaming or anything like that. I mean, how many people would really you think, okay, these kids, a lot of kids nowadays don't know about these older games and how they really used to make people feel when they were younger. Even though people say we're old guys.
Oh,
Well, I
did-
know. I know they say I am all the time, but if you think about it, if you was to go and to stream these games, and you was to go back and like do like the ones we have to talk about today, Pac-Man, Galaga, the Street Fighter games, stuff like that. How many people do you think that's really going to come into your streams because they're like 2D
Well,
kind of games and stuff like that?
I think that you're actually going to get more than you would expect because of nostalgia, right? Like somebody's going to be scrolling through Twitch and see, wait, somebody's playing the original Donkey Kong? No way.
That would be cool.
And
But people,
they'd come into your because like when I play PlayStation 1 and 2 games, I always get people come in and they're like, "Oh my god, I haven't seen this game in forever. It's such a great game. No, it's too bad not many people play it."
exactly. And everybody you think nowadays wants to just watch the newer games. It's all about the newer games. It's all about the newer games. People, go back and watch some of the older games. A lot of people would love to probably see it. But you would think that just because it's like 2D games or doesn't have the beautiful graphics or that nobody's going to watch it. I believe they would. I believe they would.
I would have to point out as well that during these times where how a lot of the original arcade games, this is how they actually determined who was the best gamer of the world. They actually had arcade tournaments back then.
Yeah.
That is very true, Kitty. Good natured Kitty. That is very true. Because, having that one life left, actually having that one life left, you do everything you can to try to save that life or try to go fight. Like the old Mario games, you actually get one-ups. One-ups. To try to get an extra life so that if you die, you don't have to start all the way back over again. Yeah, they don't know what it was like. It was a pain, but it's the feeling of getting to the end, not just speed running through it, but actually going through each stage and trying to beat the older characters. Like Tada found out. Tada found out on Street Fighter 2. It could be as hard. It could be as hard as any of the games that you play. Especially if you don't remember the combos and stuff that you need to do.
And if you don't have full access to the keys because you're playing on an emulator and they do some weird crap with down and forward and down and back and up and forward and up and back, and you have to have extra buttons for those, and you don't have those on the controller.
Exactly. Up, down, back, forward, space, A, B, B, A. Remember that?
What was it? What was there's a blood code for the original Mortal Kombat to turn the blood on? That's something like that. It's like up, down, left to right, A, B, start.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was that. I think it actually was that.
Unless that's the Konami code.
Because if you didn't do it, you couldn't get the blood or anything. It was just regular, just fighting. Just regular fighting. That's what made Mortal Kombat better in a lot of ways. But we're not talking about Mortal Kombat. We're talking about
Sonic the Hedgehog now.
Donkey Kong. Alright, well, I'm through with mine. Who's next?
I am with Sonic the Hedgehog. And now, the footage I have and the memory I have is of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And I just want to play this audio clip because this audio clip for me, we were talking about nostalgia, and this audio clip for me still gets me. Oh, it came out through my TV. It broke it. Oh well.
Oh no!
It's the old school. Sonic goes back and forth, and it goes Sega. Real sing song. I love
Oh
it.
yes.
Now Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sega!
Shut up. No. No talking from you. Sonic the Hedgehog originally came out in 1991, and he was the rival to Mario. Everyone knows that. But I mean, there's so much that they released. There is. Hold on, I'm sorry, I gotta read this. Cope with soap. There's comics, web series, and animated series, a printed media set for books that I don't know what a printed media set means. I guess it's something special because it's noted here. So, but to actually get ready for this podcast, the first thing I did was I watched the Sonic movie, and it was pretty amazing. Like Sonic may have made a comeback finally, because after all the failures of him turning into a werewolf and everything like that, he may have made a comeback because that movie was really good.
There's supposed to be a creepy level.
But Sonic was originally released on the Sega Genesis, and I don't know. I love the game, you guys. I'm sorry. It was a great game. It's from my childhood. It's from when my dad had it when I was a kid, and I played it from then, and it was just an amazingly fun game. And you see me here kicking Eggman's butt. I'm pretty good at the first few levels of this game. A hidden creepy level in Sonic. It is a lot of fun to go super speed through the levels.
Yeah. I actually remember at times where this game actually gave me a little bit of motion sickness on how fast it was going.
But see, that's it. That's Sonic, though.
I know.
He's fast.
Yes.
And in the new one, Jim Carrey's Eggman, right?
Yeah. I was expecting that to be terrible, but after seeing him, they picked the perfect person for the role. I mean,
I haven't watched it yet.
The way they wrote Eggman is so quirky. The way they wrote Eggman is so quirky that Jim Carrey was just perfect for the role. And I mean, I love Jim Carrey as an actor anyways, but it was so great to see him in a movie, in a modern day movie from something from my childhood. Like, just two things there that were just amazing for me.
There were not your coins.
And again,
So, one of the big things that separates this game from Mario and a lot of other games is the ring-based health system, where your rings are your life. Not only are they your points and everything, but they are like a shield almost to so when you take that first bit of damage, I'm sorry, I was thinking, I apologize for that, but when you take that first bit of damage, you don't die immediately. It's kind of like Mario's mushrooms, but it's it's a lot scarier because when you lose those rings and they explode and you hear I'm not good at making noise, but the noise of your rings exploding out of you, you have a mild panic attack every time. All right, Travis, you had wanted to say something, and I oh so rudely interrupted.
No, no, I was interrupting you. I'm not supposed to talk. But I was gonna say is you gotta, yeah. The point is that whenever your rings are gone, you can't get them rings back if you don't catch them in time.
Yeah, you have to be quick to get them back.
Right. And another thing that trips me out is that how back then that Sega, as fast as Sonic goes sometimes, Sega actually has it where your TV or whatever could keep up with it.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive for the time. I personally think. Um, it was because, as you said, you could go really, really fast at times. I'm about to die here. I get squished between the blocks. I always hated when that happened. As a kid, you get squished between those blocks and you're insta dead.
Yeah.
But Sonic is one of the games that didn't necessarily start out in an arcade, but it has the arcade feel to it, and it's similar to its arcade brothers in a lot of ways. And
Hmm.
I think it's better than them in a lot of ways too. It's one of those games. It's just a lot of fun. It's really cool to go really fast. You feel I don't really know what you feel like, but it's unlike any other game experience. Yeah, if you kept as far as I know, Sonic is one of the first characters. Thank you for mentioning that. I had totally forgotten about that. But when Sonic stands still too long, he eventually taps his foot and looks at his wrist like he's looking at a watch, waiting for the player to move.
It's like he gets upset.
Yeah, it's like he gets upset with you for being still too long. He's one
Yeah.
of the first characters that I've seen that had that much personality, and I I love that aspect of the games. That was just always one of my favorite things was watching Sonic get mad at me whenever I had to stop and go do something or go to the bathroom, and I come back and he's tapping his foot waiting for me to continue.
Oh no.
And yeah, as witty wife said, I could still even to this day hear the music of when you're drowning and you're running out of air, and the game kindly lets you know by picking up the tempo and slightly freaking you out a little bit.
Oh, I think it goes badoo 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 or something like that, and it's like yeah, yeah, it speeds everything up. Tries to like, hey, hey, do what you're supposed to do.
I'm enjoying watching this level. I always enjoyed this level because there's ways to get by it literally just by going super fast.
Jizzy.
Oh yeah.
And as you see
Actually,
here, I actually beat him on the first go, but I accidentally fall in the water and die. So I actually got the frame perfect jump to hit him on the first go and knock him out, but I fell in the water and died. I was so upset about that. But here's one of the moments where your super speed could easily get you through the level. As you saw, I hit the ricochet button and immediately flew across the open water.
speaking of the actual movies maybe from the classics, do you remember what game franchise that was first put into a TV show, then into a movie?
No.
Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers did. They had a movie. Yeah.
In a TV show called Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Yeah.
They're the first ones out of the classic ones to actually do that.
So apparently, in
Terrible movie. What?
in 2019, at the hold on here, let me find my spot. At SXSW, which is South by Southwest, is like a film media festival. Lizuka confirmed that a new mainline Sonic game was in development. So
Really?
Sonic Forces came out in 2016 or 2017. Yeah, 2017. And in 2019, they confirmed that a new mainline Sonic game was actually in development. So Sonic will become making a return. Probably not next year, but I'm speculating the year after with all this COVID stuff going on. But let's not talk about that. That is just a quick thing because of when the game's going to be released.
On PlayStation, they gave us the new Sonic. I guess it's the last Sonic game that came out, maybe for free.
Sonic Forces?
I think it's
Or
Sonic
Mania?
Forces.
They were both released for
No.
the PS4.
I think it was the Sonic Forces. It's got like Sonic and a whole bunch of people on the cover, right?
Awesome.
They gave it to us for
Yeah.
free. The latest, the last one, I think. I
Yeah.
wish I had a picture of it I could show you.
I see Pac-Man on the list there.
Pac-Man is on the list.
Yep, Pac-Man is on the list.
But what do you guys think about Sonic?
I've never been very good on Sonic before, but I enjoyed playing the games when they first came out with the original Sega, but I was never very good at it.
I like Sonic. I played it and played it and played it and played it. Never really got hardly anywhere, but I played it.
No.
I played it like crazy, but like I said, I don't think I've ever gotten to the very end of Sonic.
Watching my dad play Sonic is still one of the things that it was always amazing watching him play Sonic. He was a god.
Oh wow. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Really looks like a villain.
All right, so next up is Witty. Witty, what are you going to talk about next? Killer Instinct or Tekken?
Definitely Killer Instinct.
All right.
'Cause I still love that game.
Evolution of Tekken, evolution of Killer Instinct. Go ahead and talk away.
Well, like I've mentioned before, Killer Instinct actually didn't start from an arcade. They actually came out with the Super Nintendo in 1994. It was also on the Game Boy as well later, a couple years later. Also action fighting base game as well. I'm getting tongue tied now. It's the the main plot of it is Ultra Tech is a very powerful mega corporation which organizes a tournament called Killer Instinct. Along with regular participants, experimental creatures created also fight in the tournament so their strength can be tested. That's how, especially how some of them just like, yeah, Tomahawk there. I mean, or Thunder. He's one of them. So is Cinder. Cinder's a pain in the butt to beat during those times. So is Saberwolf. But every time when I actually was heavy into the game with the Super Nintendo, I always picked Orchid because she had an infinite combo that you can use. If you did not know the combo breaker, you're screwed.
Oh, really?
The characters are so shiny. It's old school 3D though, so everything old school 3D was pretty shiny.
Yeah, it's very bright.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see. In addition to the boss, the game also had a roster of 10 playable characters: Black Orchid, Chief Thunder, Cinder, Fulgor, Glacier, Jago, Raptor, which is actually a Raptor version of Saberwolf, Spinal, TJ Combo. But I still loved Orchid because Orchid had that mean little infinite combo there. Let's see. 1994, Nintendo signed a license agreement with WMS Industries, Midway, pretty much, and able to use a development and market games using early arcade-based versions for the Ultra 64 platform. Later to become a home console renamed Nintendo 64. They also have the arcade-based as well. Actually, not into arcade. Nintendo 64 was actually released for the 64 in 1996. Killer Instinct is actually the first arcade game to use the internal hard disk drive in addition to the game's ROM, which is probably random online memory. The game uses pre-rendered backgrounds created by Silicon Graphic Computers. Killer Instinct's actually, it's interesting. Killer Instinct's R4600 processor was clocked at only 100 megahertz, but it still had, in my opinion, it still had some pretty good graphics back then for only 100 megahertz speed. Mode 7, no. Europe, Australia, Canada, and the US release of the SNES game had black cartridge casings. I did not know that. The SNES version of the game was also well received upon its release, selling 3.2 million copies on the day of the release, with more than 150,000 copies sold in the U.S. on its release day alone. So they had their the most recent one was actually in 2016. They tried to do a remake where you actually had to buy the characters, the extra ones, but that did not go. Go very well with the fans. So that kind of went downhill as well in 2016. And they made the game a little bit too easy and too hard at the same time. Cause you can still do some of the combos and everything, but then it made it real complicated for you to try and figure out how to block any attacks. So that was really annoying too. Besides that, what do you guys think of it so far? Or any thoughts on you guys on your end?
I think it looks like a mashup between Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. Like, there's crazy, insane moves like Mortal Kombat has, but it's also got the weird 3D characters. The original ones have the weird 3D characters that Mortal Kombat has now. Although Mortal Kombat has better characters than it did.
Yeah. I shouldn't have put my cat. I have a cat hair up my nose.
Yeah, that's what I was looking. Is that you said they have an arcade version of this?
Yeah, when it was released for the Super Nintendo, they also released it in the arcade as well.
Okay, because that looked like later Mortal Kombat type way.
The last video that was on there, that was the 2016 iteration.
Let's put it this way: if they came out with another one, I wouldn't mind picking it up.
Yeah, because it looked pretty cool. To me, it looked pretty cool.
At the beginning of the video, those were the original graphics
with shiny characters.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Travis, what are you going to talk about next?
Oh, something I used to love to play.
Pac-Man?
Galaga.
Oh, you're gonna. Okay, we don't have footage for Galaga.
No. And I was hoping that he could still find footage for Galaga.
Okay, I got a copy of Galaga for the Game Boy, but it's garbage.
Oh, it's
So I didn't want to get footage of that. So we just don't have Galaga footage.
Dang.
Just imagine
Well-
a little triangle shooting tiny rectangles up at other little shapes, and you'll have Galaga.
Hey, was it? There was what? There was ships and there's bees and stuff like that.
In space.
All right, well, let me go ahead and tell you what I have for Galaga. It's a 1991 fixed shooter arcade game developed by Namco in the North America. It was released by Midway Games. It's a sequel to Galaxian from 1979. Namco's first major hit in the arcade. Using a starship, the player is tasked with destroying the Galaga forces in each stage while avoiding enemies and projectiles. Some enemies can capture a player's ship by a tractor beam and can be rescued to transform the player into a dual fighter with more firepower. Shigeru Yokohama, lead development of a small team that took 2 months to finish the game. Only
quick.
2 months. That's it. 2 months to finish the game. But of course, if you think about it, they already had Galaxian.
It took them 2 months. What were they doing? Sitting on their hands for half of that? Jeez.
Yeah, exactly. It only took them 2 months to do it. Originally made for Namco Galactic and arcade board. So it was actually supposed to be like a board game.
Huh.
So instead of a board game, Namco's research and development decided to make it into the arcade game. Yokohama got the idea. He got the idea from a movie.
Really?
Yeah, he got the idea from a movie he's seen, and Namco's president, Masaya no Karuma, loved it. So, although early tests didn't work, Galaga became widely regarded and as a classic of the golden age of arcade video games and one of the greatest games of all time too. Well, a lot of these older games, a lot of them that I researched, they all say that they're the greatest of all time. Well, if you think about it, a lot of the older games actually are.
Yeah,
oh wow! Look, you got a.
I got footage of it.
Nice. It was released on different platforms like MSX, Atari 7800, and Nintendo. And it's also on Xbox Live Arcade.
The fighter capture.
Oh, it was also followed by a sequel
Galaga
in
88.
in 1984.
Oh, really?
In 1984 called Galapagos.
I did not know about that one. I knew about Galaga 88.
Yeah, but there was another one in 1984 called Galapagos.
Galapagos?
No, Gapplus.
Galapagos.
Yeah, Galapagos. Whatever. But as far as I know, to me, I've always loved Galaga. Whenever I went to arcade, I always wanted to play Galaga. As one of my first ones, I always wanted to play. Now, when it came out for Atari, I definitely got it. I love Galaga.
This isn't fair.
Like I said, people might think I'm old. I'm not really that old, but I was around whenever they had the arcades, and me and my friends, we always saved up them quarters. You always save up them quarters just so that you can go to get the going to the arcades. You always ride your bikes to the arcade to go and play games.
Oops. Sorry, I messed up our video. Leave me alone.
I don't know.
Fire the editor. No, I'm kidding.
Get gal something or another. Oh, I love this game. And a lot of times too. I mean, it was pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
The higher you go,
There you
the
go.
higher
You
you
see,
go,
he
the
just lost his
faster
ship.
it was.
07 Commander Gimli.
Hey, what's up, Gimli? I'm sorry, Kitty. Good natured Kitty, if I didn't say hey earlier. Yeah, look how fast. Look how fast they're going. And if you get in the right spot, you could kill them all before they come out.
Yep.
Whenever they're coming out. That was awesome. That was pretty cool. Oh, there goes the tractor beam. Yeah. Mine's gonna be a little bit off from you guys because I'm actually using, like I said, my phone. So. Other than that, I mean, that's all I have really, because there wasn't really a lot for it, and truthfully, there really wasn't a whole lot for Pac-Man as well.
I remember playing.
But go ahead.
I remember playing Galaga on the PS2 classic discs, and my dad always had the high score on that. Like me and my older sister could never beat him. It was impossible.
Your dad really liked to play games, didn't
Yeah,
he?
my dad is a gamer.
He's just like us, huh?
Yeah. And he was good too. Like he's scary good at them.
With age comes experience.
All right, is that it for Galaga?
That's it for unless other than anything that you guys have anything to say.
I don't have anything to say. I mean,
Not
Galaga's Galaga. Galaga speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Dad, I just watched.
Okay, go. Sorry.
Unprofessional! Unprofessional!
Yeah, she usually knows better than to come in here and doing podcasts.
Shame!
Whenever I'm doing my regular streaming, I don't care.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing. It's just fun to tease.
Yeah. Pac-Man has the arcade with the down view. Well, see, if you ever noticed, I think Galaga and Pac-Man, you could play on the one that is sitting when you sit down, and it's like on the flat one that's like this. You remember where you could go into like an arcade place, and they had the one that was like really low to the ground, not like the original stand-up ones? You get what I'm saying? where you can actually sit down and you had to stick your hand underneath the thing to play it, underneath the little overhang, and it had the joystick underneath it and stuff, and you play with them.
That just sounds dirty.
And
Well, speaking of Pac-Man as well, you actually get to a point where the actual game memory can't keep up, where you only get half a screen.
I'm not on Pac-Man yet. Shh.
Oh, you're talking to about it.
Yeah, yeah. So you Travis, Mr. Dragon's Reigns. All right, the next game up is Streets of Rage. Finally get my time to shine here, the most important one on the darn podcast. Sheesh.
Nope.
So Streets of Rage is a game that existed. That's it. No, I'm just kidding. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up video game centering on the efforts of several very violent ex-police vigilantes trying to rid a fictional large American city of a crime syndicate that has corrupted its local government. The first 3 games were developed by Sega for the Sega Genesis in the early 90s and have since been re-released to various platforms, and a 4th entry, Streets of Rage 4, was released in 2020. And I just want to go through some of the platforms that this game is across here. Sega Genesis, Game Gear, Master System, Sega CD, Arcade, Wii, Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Switch, Nintendo 3DS, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS2, PS3, PS4, Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android, and iPod operating system.
Wow.
So this game series has been through the test of
ringer.
time, the ringer, the test of time, and every freaking possible game console ever. Like,
That's crazy.
I don't think they missed a single one. I mean, maybe it came out after the Atari, so I guess they missed those. But still, I mean, the games were well received and have been re-released on many compilations and standalone games, and you see me just waste my ultimate there. And even the music in the games has received much acclaim. But I think this is another game that really speaks for itself. There's not much to it, information-wise. Like, I don't want to just read you the wiki article like I would, in all honesty, because that's what I have, down here. But it is what it says. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up game, and it's a very fun game to play, and it yells at me telling me to go that way after I'd already tried going that way. But it's a very fun game franchise, and I would like to get my hands on the newest one and see what it has to offer, because just this old one, I had a blast playing the old game, playing Streets of Rage 1. And I would love to see what the new game has to offer. All right, Commander Gimli, thanks for stopping by. It's been a pleasure having you.
I remember this game. I loved playing this game.
It playstyle almost reminds me of Double Dragon.
Is that the one where they were down in like the sewers and stuff?
No, that was Battletoads.
No, I'm telling you, it's 2 like ninja looking guys.
Oh, probably.
Lead pipe. But the original game series were released in between 1991 and 1994. What?
Sin. He closed your list.
She's over here eating. I'm starving, and she's eating over here, and I'm doing a podcast. What does she want me to do? She's over here nomming, looking at me like, hee hee hee, I've got food and you don't, hee hee hee.
Nom 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 nom.
Bad Tata.
I'm the bad one. She's over here eating on freaking podcast. But
Oh, I think there was one part that you got to that was like the guys with the flame things.
the whole premise of the game is beating Mr. X, which is an evil mastermind. And that's your goal. Is to fight your way through the streets of Rage and beat up an evil mastermind and take all of his money and put him out of business so he's not evil anymore. I don't know. I'm ad-libbing there. That's probably not exactly what you do, but it sounds hilarious. Okay, it doesn't sound hilarious to them. It sounded hilarious to me. You beat up an evil mastermind, take all of his money so he's not evil anymore. That's the whole goal of the game.
It probably is the whole goal of the game.
Well, he's still evil. He's just broke.
You just kicked his butt,
Yeah.
and then you're like, you're the boss.
It did take them 25 years to release a new Streets of Rage. From Streets of Rage 3 to Streets of Rage 4.
Wow.
Yeah, Streets of Rage 3 came out in 1994, and Streets of Rage 4 didn't come out until 2020. So it took them
That's a
a
time.
long time. But I don't really have anything else to say about the game. I mean, it took them a long time to come out with 4, and I'd like to get my hands on 4 and see if you could see what it's like. I mean, it has info on all the characters that I could read, but I think the more interesting part is the fact that the game is still around, and the franchise is still around, and if the new game is anything good, I think it'll definitely be a good, I guess, reboot to the franchise if Streets of Rage 4 is actually good.
I haven't even seen the new Streets of Rage of what you're saying.
Let me look it up. Let me look up Streets of Rage 4 real quick. I don't remember what I was watching. I wasn't watching anything. So this is apparently Streets of Rage 4. It looks more comic book style.
It does. What's up with that dude, though?
I don't know. This is all I got for it.
Oh, dude's. What is he?
Stick to the gameplay, please, Mr. Korix Kenshin.
What is he? A meme dude as well?
Yeah, I guess so. Alright, there you go. This is Streets of Rage 4. It looks more comic book style, but it looks like they kept the main premise of the games, which is side-scrolling beat 'em up.
And it still looked 2D too.
Yeah, it still looked 2D-esque. So I think it could be a good, as I said, good reinvigoration of the series.
It's kind of like that Shaq game. You know, the Shaq came out with a game. It was 2D as well. It kind of looked like that, but it's still about the same premise of the original game.
Yeah. All right, you're up next, Witty.
I would say it doesn't seem that good.
You're talking about Le Tekken, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
Ooh,
any
Tekken.
thoughts on any final thoughts on that game before we hop over to Tekken? On that franchise, I guess I should say.
I've actually never played it.
How dare you?
About the
You're
other thing,
fired. Get off. Turn your camera off.
I've
Go.
played it before. About that's about all I can say is I played it before. I actually liked it a long time
I
ago,
would
but
like to get
yeah,
my hands on Street Fighter 4 and try it out myself. Other than that, I take it or leave it.
yeah. All right, Tekken time.
Tech it away, there, Witty.
Ha ha. No, close that. I was actually looking this up while you're talking for Streets of Rage. Because you mentioned how many systems that Streets of Rage have been on for through the entire franchise. I actually just
But
noticed that the Tekken series was only on arcade, PlayStation 2, portable 3, 4, 360, and Xbox One and Microsoft Windows.
Wow.
wow,
Go PlayStation.
It was
heck
first,
yeah.
was first released in 1994. Was on the Namco System 11 arcade board. Was a little bit later after that was actually released for the PlayStation 1. Yeah, it was the first game that actually had first game featured 8 playable characters with each with their own sub boss, which is a little bit different for that time. They actually had, and it was started in 1994. In 1999, they actually debuted the Tekken Tag tournament. That's when I started playing it. That's when you actually have two characters. If one gets knocked out, the other one takes over. You can just switch in and out with the two characters. Let's see here. 1994 Tekken was released. 1995 Tekken 2 was released. Let's see, 1997 Tekken 3. Tekken 4 1999. And they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 26 iterations of this game.
Yes, I did play some Tekken a long time ago, and I do think that they all had their own sort of sub story, as Mortal Kombat did with every character. When you won with a specific character, that specific character got their own little backstory and victory party, we'll say. Although I don't think I ever won. So.
And Tekken 3 was released in the arcades and for the PlayStation in 1997 and 1998, respectively, due to a 19-year storyline span between the game and its predecessor. As far as I know, as well, Tekken only had one movie made from the game series. The movie is actually not bad either. But the most recent game, Tekken 7, actually not most recent, it was actually 6 years ago. Is right now is released for the Windows, Xbox One, and PS4. Tekken was not originally conceived as a fighting game. The project began as an internal Namco test case for animating 3D character models.
Interesting.
That's different. Yeah. And eventually incorporated texture mapping similar to that found in Namco's 1993 racing games Ridge Racer. Yeah, I did not know.
I didn't either.
Ah,
They actually had a character, I think, a character named Eddie Gordo that actually played the most because he actually had a capoeira fighting style, which was a Brazilian martial arts.
It's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I believe.
Brazilian?
Yeah, Brazilian.
I thought it was Brazilian.
No, it's Brazilian now.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's Brazilian now. It's a new type of it's a new country that's gonna happen.
Oh, and I should really fun tell as well. Tekken 3, out of the entire game franchise, had the highest game rankings and Metacritic score. Out of the entire franchise. Game rankings had a 95%, Metacritic had a 96%.
Very nice.
I remember that Capoeira guy though, which was pretty cool because yeah, they made a movie about Capoeira.
Yeah, only the strong.
Yeah.
And you get. Seems like something I actually afford to get my cat to the vet. Let's see. I forgot where I was now.
The delay.
I'm sorry, I'm sleepy. I haven't had coffee.
Oh, here's something I should have actually known about this when I was talking about Street Fighter earlier. They actually had a Street Fighter versus Tekken game as well for the PS3 and Xbox 360.
Well, yeah, you got the Brazilian freezer, man. It's much colder than a regular freezer.
That would have been really cool as well to actually see. But they actually have a screenshot here that shows somebody in a panda outfit. That's weird. That's just weird.
Well, so are you.
Yeah,
but
panda
you
outfit?
don't hear us complaining.
Yeah, panda outfit.
Hi, Wolf. How you doing? Good to see you.
Hey, Wolf.
But other than that, any thoughts on with you guys so far?
I used to play it. I liked it, but when I played, I used to get my butt kicked all the time.
Oh, I used to love playing as King. They actually did different masks, and each one was actually almost like a different type of style for him.
I played it a little bit, but I always got my butt kicked by Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Steve with his stupid shoulder charge.
Steve.
You got beat by a Minecraft character? Dang.
I'm telling you. Steve was bad, though.
Steve was a monster, dude. He would just...
Yes.
Every time I would play against a Steve, they would just shoulder tackle you.
And you can't get away from it. You can't get away from it at all.
Yeah, it's like... Oh, man. It reminds me... I know we're not talking about it, but when I played Mortal Kombat against my little sister, she played the biggest character in the game, and she just crouch kicked. That's all she did. Just crouch kicked across the entire map, and would just get you in a corner and just crouch kick you to death. It was so
And
frustrating.
you can't do anything about it.
For the longest time, I could not fight it.
I wonder if they actually show a scene with Eddie Gordo or not.
But how you doing there, Wolf? It's good to have you. Thanks for stopping by.
I didn't even notice she was there until just now.
I would mash buttons quickly until I won.
That is true. She does do that.
All right, next up, if that's all, is Travis with Pac-Man.
Pac-Man. Alright, you guys. Pac-Man. All the ones that I'm doing is like old age.
Okay, this is like
Very old.
this Pac-Man is Pac-Man. All right, they're except for like the 3D where you walk around. Pac-Man is just Pac-Man.
That's it.
Waka, waka,
But
waka,
there
waka,
is
waka,
some
waka,
truth
waka,
and
waka, waka,
fun,
waka.
funny stuff about this as well.
That's a weird version.
I know. I've seen that too. I've seen him play it, but he has the original on there as well.
No, Wolf can eat because she's not sitting right next to me doing a podcast and helping out and making me starve.
Yeah.
Oh god.
All right. Pac-Man is a maze arcade game developed and released by Namco in 1980. If you noticed, all the ones that I'm doing is pretty much back in the 80s, like 89, 81, and 80, and 79, and stuff like that.
And also, if you notice, all the ones he's doing, I happen to suck at.
I don't know. You done pretty good with Pac-Man. You did really good with Pac-Man. Okay, the original Japanese title was Puck-Man. They changed it to Pac-Man for international release to prevent getting defacement to arcade machines by changing the P to an F outside of Japan. This is what it said, literally, when I looked it up. That they had to change Puck-Man to Pac-Man because in the United States, everybody would deface the machines to put an F on it instead of. They would mark out the P and put an F. That is exactly what it said. I swear to you. The game was published by Midway Games as a part of its license agreement with Namco America. The player controls Pac-Man, who must eat all the dots inside an enclosed maze while avoiding four colored ghosts, eating a large flashing dots called energizers causes the ghosts to turn blue, allowing Pac-Man to eat them for bonus points.
All right, let's call them what they are. All right, they're power pellets.
Exactly. We always said power pellets, but hey, like I said, research. The development of the game began in the early 1979 by Toru Iwanti. What a name. Gosh. With the 9-man team. They had a 9-man team on this. He wanted to create a game that men and women. He wanted to create a game that men and women can play because most games of the time were war or sports. People reportedly said Pac-Man looked like a pizza with a piece gone. Iawanti said it was a mouth, and he also rounded the Japanese one that was actually a square. The Japanese actual game was a square. And the square was called, don't laugh at me, Coochie.
That don't even sound dirty.
I swear, that is what it was called.
God.
Okay, he said they should be cute and colorful. Pac-Man was, I tell you, it was a funny thing. I swear it was a funny thing. The success of the game led to several sequels, merchandise, and 2 TV series, as well as a hit single by Buckner and Garcia. They actually had a song about
Huh?
Pac-Man. It is one of the highest grossing
He said
and
success.
best selling game series of all time,
Yeah, I know.
getting more than 14 billion as of 2016
Oh, that's not much.
and 43 million in sales combined. Pac-Man is the most Pac-Man is the mascot and flagship icon of Bandai Namco and has the highest brand awareness of any video game character in North America. So Bandai actually uses Pac-Man as their mascot.
Yeah.
And it says, like I just said, it's the highest brand awareness of any video game character in the United States. It always says North America, but to me, it's like United States.
I don't know, man. You show somebody Pac-Man, you show somebody Pikachu. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to be able to recognize both of them.
Oh, I guarantee you. I guarantee you.
It'd be kind of funny to see
Because
Pokemon in an arcade game.
I don't think they have Pokemon as an arcade game.
No.
Um, Other than that, I mean, that's all I have for that as well. Which, I mean, everybody knows Pac-Man.
What's Pac-Man?
Everybody knows Pac-Man. But I'm telling you, what's funny is the Square thing. And I think whenever they wrote this, they definitely had a sense of humor. Whoever wrote this articles, because I mean, for one, like the Japanese version of this is a square, and everybody was like, "Oh, Pac-Man looks like a pizza."
Pac-Man does look like a pizza.
Okay, you think of this too as well. Have you ever been to a pizza place that has arcade play things and they not have Pac-Man?
No. Have you ever had a pizza and not looked at it after taking a piece out and go, "Hey, look, it's Pac-Man."
Exactly. Yeah. It's wild like that. I mean, it's just one of those games that's like, and I can say, yeah, Pac-Man is one of the greatest of all time.
Pac-Man is another one that my dad was inexplicably good at.
Your dad must have been just a guru in these games.
It was at the old school games. It was ridiculous. Me and Bartolomeo are trying to get him out to play Fortnite.
Oh my gosh, that would be something.
League. We were trying to get him to play League at one point too.
Look at the running eyes. Like, run away.
Do we have anything else?
Also on Pac-Man, if you think about it, it's one of those games as well. The further you go, the faster they go.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is way too hard to try to get away from the dang on thing. The ghosts and stuff are like relentless.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years, if you really think about it, over the years, it came out with numerous types, um, different mazes, different, ways to play it, stuff like that. I think, yeah, as you see, I think on the one that you have on there, you can go in one side and come out the other,
Mm-hmm.
stuff
Same for
like
the
that.
original.
Yeah, just the original one, I think is what the second or third stage. You can go through one side and come out the other and stuff like that. And they'll come after you, and then you go through it, and then they'll come out the other side, and then this one's there. You just keep going back and forth.
Yeah. Pac-Man's a real niche kind of game for me. It fits its own specific role, and that's about all it does. When you want to be terrified but not terrified, it's a good game.
Mm.
Yeah. Other than that, that's all I have, guys, for that. Any last thoughts?
I still can't get the thought of get my butt kicked at Pac-Man out of my head now. That's all these games are bringing up is just my dad kicking my butt at every game.
Oh, I know.
At least I know before I go to bed tonight, I'm definitely gonna be watching Pixels,
Oh, wow.
watching Pac-Man go after the cars.
Yep. All right. I think we got one more before we go to our questions from the audience.
All right, so last up is Pokemon. Now, Pokemon is Pokemon. Everyone knows Pokemon. But the first release, the reason I chose Pokemon is because it's so old. But the first release was Pokemon Red and Blue in America, International, and Red and Green in Japan in 1996. And the latest released was 2019 Pokemon Sword and Shield. And there are just a ton of spin-offs. There's Pokemon Pinball. I'm sorry, I had to fix the video.
Yeah, I better say it's not working.
Super Smash Brothers.
There's Pokemon Pinball. There's Detective Pikachu. There's a lot of different type of spin-offs. Pokemon Go is one of them. And Pokemon Go has crossed 1 billion mobile downloads worldwide.
My son plays it all the
I'd
time.
like 4 of those because I keep like losing my phone, or my phone breaks, or I download it on Sin's phone. So I'm like 4 of those.
Mm.
Yes, you do. You capture a monster and you keep them in captivity until you're ready to pit them against another monster. Basically, like having a pet.
Yeah.
But it was originally developed by Game Freak and published by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company as part of the Pokemon Media franchise. Created by Satoshi Tajiri with the assistance of Ken Sugimori, the first game was released in 1996 in Japan for the Game Boy, and the main series of RPGs are referred to as the core series by developers, have continued on each generation of Nintendo's handhelds. Now, as I said, the reason I picked this game is because while it's not an arcade game, it has that arcade feel to it, especially the older ones, and it is very much still alive and well today. Pokemon is still one of the biggest franchises out there. And including spin-offs, as of November, this is, numbers to back this up. As of November 24th, 2017, more than 300 million Pokemon games have been sold worldwide on handheld and home consoles across 76 titles. This makes Pokemon the second best-selling video game franchise behind Mario. Mario is the
Wow.
best-selling video game franchise, and Pokemon is second. But not
Wow.
only are there 76 titles, there are ROM hacks, which are not what you think. They're actually modded versions of the game. They're, for instance, I have one on my computer called Omega Pearl, I think. Let me go to my downloads real quick and look at that. I couldn't get it to run. I really wanted to play that one. I don't have it anymore. I deleted it. I'm a dummy. But there was like Omega Pearl and things like that. There are a bunch of different mods to the Pokemon franchise, and the biggest one actually got shut down because the Nintendo gave them a cease and desist order.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because it was too big. So, I mean, Pokemon is Pokemon. It is a fantastic, fun little game about torturing innocent creatures, but it is still a fantastic, fun little game. And
Yes, that's what she said. Monster cruelty.
as you see here in a long little bit, there is multiple different things to do in the game, and um, one of the things you could do is actually evolve your Pokemon. And I do that here in this video, but there's also gym battles, which, oh man, now I can only think of the animal cruelty here. Which is literally pitting your Pokemon against hundreds of other monsters in a long train of succession of death and carnage while you try and slap one guy's Pokemon down after having beaten every other Pokemon in the way.
You get my wife laughing.
It's true though.
But it is the ultimate.
It's absolutely true.
It is the ultimate challenge of your Pokemon and your leadership skills, depending on how well you can take on the gym.
I think you're.
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's getting close.
Kisses. But I don't really have anything else to say. Everybody knows Pokemon, really, so.
I think you're getting ready to change.
Yeah, getting ready to end it here, pretty much.
Evolve.
Oh yeah, I'm getting ready to evolve. Let me just skip forward a little bit farther. I think I evolved sometime after.
I think it was not too much after that. You had like a big fight and then you evolved.
There we go. So the evolutions are really cool, and I wanted to show that.
Ah, you went too far.
Oh, did I?
Yep.
I think it's right. Then right in there. Yeah, right in there.
And then you take him to the hospital. When they turn a blind eye, they treat the poor monster and return it to its point. I know!
That is true. Yes, exactly. You do.
And then they tell you...
You had to take him to the hospital.
And then they tell you to
everything.
go throw it out the freaking bus window and drag it behind the bus for 3 years, and then come back and they'll heal it for you again.
Yeah.
But there's an evolution. Most Pokemon have 2 evolutions or 3 different forms. All the starters have 3 different forms. A lot of Pokemon only have 2 forms, though. I mean, well, you know, it's 50. It's 50-50.
Well, what does Pikachu have?
Pikachu has
Two.
3 separate forms: a baby
I've
form,
only
Well,
Pikachu,
Candy
and Raichu.
Pichu, yeah.
I've only known Pikachu as
That's
Pikachu. That's
because
it.
Pikachu has to be evolved with a Thunderstone, as Witty said. Some need stones to evolve. Like Eevee
Yeah.
needs a stone, Pikachu needs a stone. To get Politoed, you have to give Poliwhirl
Waterstone.
a King's Rock.
Richu?
Raichu.
Raichu.
But that is going to do it for this part of the podcast, you guys. What do you guys think of Pokemon? Would you guys ever
I used
play
to
it?
play. I used to play the card game when I was in high school.
Nerd.
I haven't played it. I've always watched it, or watched like my son play it. Now I can say I have played Pokemon Go, but as of the game itself, I've never really liked it.
How dare you not like Pokemon? No, I'm just kidding.
I know that
We
most
accept
people
all
are like,
opinions
I
here,
can't-
even if they're wrong.
I knew most people would be like, but see, I've never played it. I don't know. Pokemon Go is pretty cool, but the original game, no. It's to me, I never had like a 3DS or anything like that. So
Well, I can tell you this: you can
Yeah.
get all of them on the computer, and they are
And your
so much
phone.
better on the computer because the grind is a lot less. Because you could double speed it. You know, witty wife, that is true. But you know what I do? I just take a fire type, grind it all the way up to level 100, and just walk through the entire game.
Yeah, but I used to play the actual card game when it first came out when I was in high school. I actually had a tournament deck
Yeah,
banned
Pixelmon.
from card stores because it was too good.
really,
Yeah,
dang.
they literally told me that I could not play it here.
Nope,
But
fire does
heals
not heal
fire?
fire in the Pokemon game, in most of the Pokemon games. And also, they didn't always have to know fire type moves. They could know other type moves, and I would teach them normal type moves or dragon moves because dragon moves are badass.
Which I can say that they just had a thing in Pokemon Go. What is it? I think it's the other day, yesterday, about all dragon type. You could get all dragon type
Oh,
yesterday.
darn, I missed that.
Yeah, because my son was wanting to go down the street to go get one of the best ones in the game on Pokemon Go.
No.
It was at a Pokestop. So
I was just mentioning to my wife here. Fire does not heal fire in Pokemon. Fire heals fire in Final Fantasy X.
fire heals fire in fantasy. Oh,
I did not eat
okay.
That OP Pokemon was Ele Electros.
Yeah. No, zero weaknesses
Electros,
whatsoever.
Electric, and Dynamo.
Well, that's not right. That's well. What about Pikachu? No wonder everybody wants Pikachu.
No, Pikachu is just Pikachu.
Yeah.
He's just cool.
He's just cute.
All right, so what do we want to talk about for the next podcast, you guys? I'm leaning towards a specific topic because I got access to a game, and I love the game, and I love everything about the game, and I love everything about the series that it's based on, and I love everything about it. But I want to know what you guys think.
Hmm?
Are you talking about Hellpoint?
Yes.
I thought you were. Well, we gotta get topics. We supposed to be talking to our people right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. You know, what is everyone want
Ah,
to
look
hear?
at that! Look at that! She said that. I wish we would have talked about Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Y'all guys remember that
No,
game? Don't
I
lie.
don't.
You gonna tell me you don't remember Mike Tyson's Punch Out? Oh my gosh!
I do not remember Mike Tyson's Punch Out or Michael Jackson's fighting game.
I don't
What about
remember Michael Jackson's fighting game.
what about Duck Hunt?
Well, Duck Hunt and Mario were together.
Not originally.
Oh, on my dang on Nintendo, it was.
Because they had Mario and Duck Hunt, they also had Mario and Track and Field.
So,
Well, yeah,
what?
that's true.
I guess the question is, what topic should we talk about next? Because what game area? Because on the
Oh yeah, I remember that game.
on the second the podcast is planned, I just have to inform you guys of the plan. But for next week, we have a week open. So what do we want to talk? Not next week, but in 2 weeks on the 19th, we have a week open. So what do we want to talk about for the 19th? Crowd, do you have any input? Witty, Travis, do you have anything specific you want to talk about? Any genres or
So I've actually been thinking about this for part of the podcast. One thing we should probably do every once in a while here is do like a live reaction to another gameplay from someone else of a new game that we've never heard of before.
famous character inspired games? As in what?
Famous character? You're talking about actor, as in like actor, like inspires games, or character, as in what? Anything?
She is still typing.
Oh. Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, she already gave you two versions: Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and Michael Jackson.
Yeah, well, there's Madden. There's
I call Madden in WWE.
there's Madden, WWE. That Michael Jackson game right there that she's talking about, I remember playing that game. He walks around,
Hee hee.
yeah, doing stuff like that, and then the whole game is the song "Annie, Are You Okay?"
What are you doing, Rock Derek?
But what you guys think of the idea I put up that we could try sometime?
Okay, as of what do you mean by that? Okay, somebody play a game and then we just react to it.
As not as an actual not someone playing a game, but the actual game footage of a new game that is just recently released or going to be released.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I mean, we should totally point. I got something in my throat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, which actually that is very true because Hellpoint just came out.
No, Hellpoint. The reason I kept doing that, Hellpoint did just come out, but Lobos Jr. got his hands on Hellpoint and started his first ever Hellpoint 3 playthrough the other day. Yes, he did. I saw the video on YouTube. I went to watch it, and the back of my mind goes, he's gonna shit on this game so hard that I don't even want to know what he says. And I said, you know what? I don't care what he says. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch him shit on my game, cause.
Let's watch it.
But it's a 5-hour video.
Well, dude, you played it for what, 6 hours?
Yeah, man. Lobos is a god at Souls games, though.
Okay, did you actually watch it or no?
No. I'm going to, though.
You didn't watch it.
I'm going to, though.
Okay. Bruce Lee has a voice of video. Bruce Lee has some video games made about him. I would have to look that up. I'm very, very much a Bruce Lee fan.
All right. So we've got the
My
topic for the next
son-
podcast.
My son was actually named by Brandon Lee.
Yeah, speaking of Tony Hawk.
The only thing is that my wife wouldn't let me name him Brandon Lee, even though my middle name is Lee. So, yeah, Tony Hawk.
Comes out in September.
Do we have any questions from the audience before we end it?
1984 was a game called Bruce Lee.
All of 1984 was a game called Bruce Lee. Any questions from the
Seriously?
audience before we end it? Before we call it a day?
We will, I guess, maybe it'll be surprise of what we may talk about next week.
Well, we have our topic. Games inspired by famous actors or famous people.
Oh, okay.
I've got my 3. I stole the easiest 3 because I love them. What does it mean?
Of course. Oh, I got one, and I have the
clueless.
game. I got one, and I got the game.
All right then. So we got that. Any questions from the audience? Last call. Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero. Oh my gosh, Guitar Hero.
Wolf, are you still there?
I think she went back to sleep.
Probably. She probably forgot all about her food.
Okay, so I guess that's what we're going to have for the next one.
I want to ask a question to the audience. What do you guys think of our new layout? Very black.
Very black?
Well, that's because Twitch is dark, and I use dark mode on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if I do this... Oh.
Reminds me of FB, Facebook.
If I go here... See, it's much brighter, but YouTube and Twitch are both dark. This is where I got Hellpoint from, by the way. The Keymailer. Great site. But what do you think about the overall layout, the structure? I want to know what the fans think. So see if we should keep it or revise it again. Since says keep,
We got
all
one
other
tweet.
opinions are null and void. No, I'm just kidding.
It works. Well, what color do you want it? Pink or something?
We are not making it pink. We are not guns for hire.
God. Just make it pink or purple. It's a joke, Good Nature Kitty. Don't ask, because it's not going to be in color.
Yeah, but speaking of next week's topic, I am completely clueless on what to do. So
Well, that's fine. You have Witty. Well, you have Witty wife to help you out.
Oh, yeah, she done gave you a couple. I bet she can tell you all kinds that you can do.
yeah, but those ones are already probably taken already. So
No, they're not.
Well, let's see. We have, while we're still on and we're ending here,
An obscure series.
obnoxious.
I
Color.
have Madden and WWE. There is still Tony Hawk's games, Guitar Heroes, Bruce Lee, and WWE.
Guitar Hero is not by a famous actor though, or person.
Guitar Hero is based off
So
famous people. Guitar Hero 3
Yeah,
is.
famous people, period.
And I have none of the games either.
Oh well, okay, so Guitar Hero you don't worry about. But there's still Tony
I
Hawk
don't
you could
have
do.
any.
Don't have the game either.
You could acquire the games.
Just do what I do. If I 9 times out of 10, I don't have the.
If you
Down.
can't get the game, I can just let me know and I can get the footage.
I'm thinking about Laura.
Lara Croft? Because weren't those games based on the movies?
Yeah.
It was reverse actually.
Oh, the movies were based on the games.
Yep.
Ah, but will that work?
No.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and end it here, you guys. We will continue discussing games and such, but it's been a pleasure having you all. Thank you all for being here. Hope to see you all next time. Which which is in 2 weeks on the 19th. But next week we'll be trying again to stream Conan on the 12th. And I hope to see you all there as well. It's been a pleasure. Again, it's been a pleasure having you all. That's it from us. I'm Tada Kitty signing off. Peace out.
Later, guys.
We'll see ya.